A strong response from China to American hegemony, this time over what Beijing deems as illegal American interference in China's internal affairs, as well as a violation of international law. The Chinese Foreign Ministry Monday said it was left with no alternative.
Disregarding China's opposition, the United States signed the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act into law. In response to the unreasonable U.S. move, the Chinese government has decided to, from today, suspend the review of requests by U.S. military ships and aircrafts to visit Hong Kong. At the same time, China has also sanctioned NGOs, including the National Endowment for Democracy, the National Democratic Institute for International Affairs, International Republican Institute, Human Rights Watch, and Freedom House for their despicable involvement in this Hong Kong-related bill.
The National Endowment for Democracy, which the spokesperson mentioned, was founded in 1983 to help channel funds into opposition groups and parties in much of the developing world. On its website, it says it provided funding of about $440,000 for Hong Kong groups last year alone. Between 1995 and 2013, it totaled $1.9 million. It also helped finance the Occupy Central movement in the region in 2014. As the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson stated, China will continue to firmly uphold the prosperity and stability of Hong Kong and the interests of China's sovereignty, security, and development. And the country would take further and necessary moves as the situation develops.
China's angry after the U.S. House of Representatives voted overwhelmingly to approve a strongly worded bill paving the way for sanctions against Chinese officials over human rights abuses in China's northwest region on Tuesday. A Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said American politicians are ignorant and had never been to Xinjiang.
China's practice in Xinjiang echoes the United Nations Violence Prevention Program. The program calls for offering education courses and job opportunities to people from terror groups and encourages them to leave those violent terror organizations. Many other countries have also made similar efforts. Now the situation is becoming much better in Xinjiang. No attacks have occurred in Xinjiang in the past 3 years. China's efforts in fighting terrorism and eliminating radicalization have been welcomed by all ethnic groups living in Xinjiang, and it has received positive evaluations from the international community.
The U.S. has long been accusing China of repressing its people in Xinjiang, seen by many as hypocrisy, given its own history with minorities. The 1830 Indian Removal Act freed up land for settlement and forced 70,000 Native Americans to relocate. The long trek westward became known as the Trail of Tears, in part because of the high death rate. And the current U.S. record also raises concerns. According to a report of the Special Rapporteur on the Rights of the Indigenous People from UN Human Rights Council, the continuing vulnerabilities of indigenous communities are highlighted by alarmingly high rates of violence against the indigenous women, a grave and persistent problem that has been well documented. The U.S. Department of Justice estimates that the indigenous women are more than twice as likely as all other women to be victims of violence, and that 1 in 3 of them will be raped during her lifetime. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying said the U.S. has forgotten its own history and poor human rights record.
The U.S. has chosen to forget about what it's done to the American Indians and tried to defame China. This has indicated America's double standards in anti-terrorism.
Hua Chunying also described the U.S. move as contrary to the mainstream view of the international community. In October, more than 60 countries spoke in the United Nations in support of the work in Xinjiang. Over the past year, more than 1,000 people from foreign governments, international organizations, media companies, religious groups visited Xinjiang. Early this year, Beijing issued a white paper on the region. It says Xinjiang's fight against extremism is a battle for justice and civilization, which deserves respect and understanding. And any false accusations will only be in vain.
Clean natural gas now flows all the way from eastern Siberia to northeastern China. It's all possible thanks to the China-Russia East Route natural gas pipeline, the northeastern segment of which is now in use. It marks a new breakthrough in the deepening energy cooperation and strategic partnership between China and Russia. Behind me is Heihe Station, the first point on the Chinese part of the pipeline that receives Russian gas. From here, the entire pipeline will stretch across 9 provinces and municipalities upon completion, and it will be the first domestically made intelligent pipeline with a large diameter, high compressive capacity, and advanced welding techniques. Under a 30-year agreement between the oil and gas giants from both sides, the pipeline is expected to pump 1 trillion cubic meters of natural gas into China. That will serve as one of the nation's largest pipeline projects for gas imports. It aims to help meet the growing needs of China, the world's largest gas importer, especially as the country plans to switch from coal-fired power to cleaner fuel sources to cut pollution.
Its northern section will import 5 billion cubic meters of natural gas in the first year when in operation. China's northeast and the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region will benefit from the project environmentally right on time for northern China's heating season, when demand for clean energy is high.
The world-class project will not only guarantee energy supplies and security for China, but will also contribute to the economic development of Russia's Far East and China's northeastern Rust Belt, where industrial and energy transformation is a priority.
With the progress of the Belt and Road Initiative, China-Russia cooperation will broaden. Apart from the opening of the gas pipeline, soon we will have a highway bridge and a cableway connecting the two sides, and the officially approved China's Heilongjiang Free Trade Zone. As such projects and policies gradually take effect, it will lead to a higher level of opening up.
Construction of the pipeline now enters a new phase, with its middle portion set to be completed next October. Once the project goes into full operation, Russia's share in China's gas market is slated to increase.
Co-hosted by CGTN and its content provider CCTV Plus and CGTNC, the summit welcomes 300 people from dozens of media organizations, tech enterprises, and think tanks from around the world. President Shen Haixiong of China Media Group calls on world media outlets to work for constructive contributions to global governance and human development.
Facing this complicated world, the function of global media should be constructive, not destructive. Media groups should push forward integration instead of intensifying disputes.
That idea is supported by other media leaders at the summit.
The only problem right now is the media industry, they fight with each other. So as a result, you have this fake news concept, but we need to be together so that giving more integrity towards information.
Shen launched the CGTN think tank, witnessed by 27 leaders of influential international think tanks. It aims to promote cooperation among global think tanks by building an open international platform for exchanges.
Good information and insights, thoughtful analysis and debate, these are crucial, and these are delivered by CGTN and will in the future, I'm sure, be delivered by the new CGTN think tank. As a representative of, I would say, European citizens, wholeheartedly welcoming this important step and by looking forward to the future successful activities of your new CGTN think tank.
It's the third time that CGTN has hosted this summit, a platform for discussion among world media. This year, experts are addressing the unprecedented digital tech changes facing today's media. China Media Group says it has launched a 5G plus 4K and 8K plus AI strategy to effectively drive new media's development. CGTN says it's now available on Amazon Fire TV with 24/7 live content. The network's multilingual content will also be available on Microsoft News. The second Blue Book of Global Communicative Ecology was launched. Jointly produced by CCTV Plus and Beijing Foreign Studies University, the annual report stresses the increasing convergence of TMT, telecom, media, technology. Also at the summit, the CGTN Producer's Choice Award went to a documentary from Channel News Asia, one of 6 nominees. The summit points to the mountains that global media must climb over: how to make use of 5G and other technologies, how to better address consumers' needs, and how to hatch new platforms that are suitable for the next generation of media ecology. But in the end, content is always at the core of what they have to offer.